been waiting for so long. We've been waiting for this time to begin. We ain't getting any older. I kinda feel a little younger. Run away and embrace the day. The sun is out, won't go away. Feel the clouds on your shoulder. Touch the sky, feeling bolder. Going out, going all the way. Going out, yeah, yeah.
In this week's episode, we speak to Nigerian native Assosi Odey.
Do you prefer to be referred to as albino or a person with albinism?
I would rather you refer to me as a person with albinism, not as an albino.
Okay. Tell us your name, where you from, and give us a little bit of information about yourself.
So my name is Assosi Odey. I'm from Nigeria in West Africa, specifically from Cross River State, right? I'm the sixth of seven children. The sixth of seven children. I have older siblings. I have two other siblings that are also persons with albinism, and so they're older than me. Our first child is a person with albinism. The second child is a person with albinism, and then me, who is the sixth child, is also a person with albinism. So I came from a family who where at first they didn't really understand what albinism is about, but eventually when my sister was born, our second born was born. I think that was when my dad really decided and be like, you know what, I have to look into this and I need to understand what exactly this is. And I would say there was no difference on how he treated us. Luckily for us, or I'll say fortunately for us, I'll use the term fortunately for us, he did not treat us differently, although we looked different from the other of our siblings who are dark skinned and all that, but we got the same love, we got the same discipline as the other children. If we should do something wrong, he disciplines us the same way. You are not treated specially, you are not treated as though you are not part of the family. Or sometimes I see parents who treat their children, persons with albinism, as though they are too fragile. He doesn't take us as too fragile, but he still does not treat us as though we are not part of the family. So yeah, that's just how it was.
Okay, you said you're the youngest or the next to the youngest
Yeah,
of six?
the sixth of seven children, so I'm like the second to the last child.
Oh wow. How many sisters, how many brothers?
Two brothers, five sisters.
Ooh, that's a lot of girls. So now I'm looking at you, and this I was born with albinism, as in most people. Your hair is a different color. It's like white, like really, really, really white. Do all of you have the same color hair?
Okay, so for the hair thing, I am actually like really deep blonde. So I was the one who bleached my hair to white because I've always liked the white hair. So I changed the color of my hair. But if we were to go back to my posts on social media, down, 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 it's not been long. I actually bleached my hair. I think it was November last year that I decided to be like, no, I've been a blonde for basically my whole life. Let me switch it up a little bit, and so I changed it to white.
Oh, I like it. It's nice. I know there are some people with albinism who has hair that's similar to you. I know there's like a whole lot of different hair colors, which I found out later that you can have a different color hair and be a
Yeah,
person with albinism. I didn't know that. I'm 50 and I'm still learning some things about um being a person with
Alvin.
albinism. And so the first time I seen someone with a different color hair color, the white hair, I was like, okay, I can understand that. But then I seen some with brown hair, and I was like,
Yeah,
how did you do that? And it was like I was born that way. Like, how you get to be born with brown hair? That's
brown.
so. What is it like living in Nigeria? First off, what is it like to be part of such a large family? Do your parents have albinism?
No, none of them has albinism.
Wow. How was it explained to you growing up, what did your dad find out about why some of you were born, or why some of you were born with albinism?
Okay, so I would say this is a story I was told because apparently I was not there
Of
when this,
course.
but this is a story I was told. So apparently, when my mom gave birth to my eldest sister, our first child, who is a person with albinism, she didn't quite understand what it was. Or she knew it was her baby, right? But she just didn't understand. And so in the most ignorant way ever, she was like, I'm going to love the child regardless. That's my mom and my dad in particular. And so most of the time she takes my sister out. She didn't know the sun was not to our favor. Like we're not supposed to be exposed to the sun and all that. So she takes her out when they're going to the market because apparently she's the first, and so she didn't want to leave her at home with some persons. There was nobody to leave her at home with anyway because my dad goes to work and all that. So she takes her out and all that, all the walking around in the afternoons. And so when they gave birth to my second sister, our second child, that was when my dad started to research about persons with albinism. And so he saw a doctor, and it was the doctor who told him that, you look, there is really nothing wrong with your children. It's just keep them away from the sun, right? And so he was like, okay, they told him, get sunscreen. As at the year when both of my eldest sisters were born, sunscreen was not really rampant. It was not even something that was easy to get. Sometimes you have to import it, as at that time in Nigeria. So it wasn't really an easy thing. It was, and on the other hand, it was still a bit on the expensive side, even when you see it. And so he still tries. He gets the sunscreen for us. And so when they told him about the sun, that was when he started wearing us protective clothes, wearing us hats. I hated it, but it was protective clothes. It was protective clothes and all that. He went to meet the teachers in school and tell them, please, if you see my child playing outside during the break time, during the time for break for children, please do not let them play outside in the sun. Just take them inside. He went the extra mile. He went the extra mile to make sure we would not be exposed to the sun. And he did. So I would not say when I was born, I knew that I was a bit different. But whilst he told me do not go out in the sun, he didn't really explain what albinism is. And I would say was because he himself has not really understood what it was. He
Right.
only knew that you were not supposed to be exposed to the sun. That's just what he knows. And so he told us what he knows about albinism. Do not go out in the sun. Wear protective clothes. And so having having 4 elder siblings, 2 of which are persons with albinism, at least for me, I felt like at least, although I know I'm a bit different, but I have people who are like me in the family. So I didn't really feel all that alone. But it got to a point where I decided, you know what, I need to understand what this is. Walking around in the streets, you hear people address you as albino, depending on the pronunciation they use anyway. Albino. So I knew I was a person somehow in my heart at a very young age. I knew I was a person with albinism. I just didn't know what it was about, right?
So you did your own research on.
Mm.
So what did you find out?
I started doing research about persons with albinism, what is going on. Then I got to understand it's a mutation of melanin. You don't have enough melanin. There are different types of albinism. The ocular albinism, which I later realized that was what my dad has. He is a person with ocular albinism. It reflects just in his eyes. And so, because I used to think, when I was growing up, I used to say, my dad has really beautiful eyes because his eyes are green, and he is very dark. He's a person in Nigeria, and of course, he's black, but he has green eyes. And so I'll be like, my daddy's eye is fine, shao. My daddy's eye is so fine. And that was when I finally did my research and I realized, okay, that's ocular albinism. The albinism reflects just in his eyes, right? And I got to realize persons with albinism are born with different hair colors. That depends on the amount of melanin you have in your skin. That's the amount of that's the color of hair you get. There are persons who, if you see persons with darker hair tone or darker skin tone, you realize that person has a little more melanin than you, who is brighter. Although still a person with albinism, but he has more melanin and all that. And I got to just I got to realize what albinism is. Although right now I would say I'm still learning about albinism, but I want to believe I've known a lot about albinism from all the research and all that.
Oh, okay. So now you say your dad is dark skinned with green eyes.
Yeah.
Do you know what if I know your mom is supposed to, well, this is what we learned in the United States, is that albinism is the result of two people with albinism. So I guess what
If I
stage of albinism your mother
okay,
has?
so
Yeah.
I think my mom has the gene, but she's not. You know, they are carriers and they
Mhm.
are persons with albinism. So I think my mom is a carrier of the gene. She is not a person with albinism, but she has the gene in her, and that's why her gene was able to match with my dad's gene, who is a person with ocular albinism, and they gave birth to beautiful us.
Here where I am, it's not as common as it is in Africa, and the education for albinism is not prevalent here. And so I grew up the majority of my life not really having a lot of information on it until I got into my adult stages. And I think my parents were carriers. I don't know if they had the gene or not. And the doctors here are still learning about albinism. And I think part of that is because, we're in the age of information. So it's everywhere. So it's easier to learn. But when I go to the doctors, they still tell me that I need to go out and get some sun. And I'm like,
No, I
um,
don't.
yeah, that's not gonna happen. Let's just not do that. Do you suffer from any medical conditions as a result of your albinism?
The only thing I would say is my eyesight. I have myopia. I'm short-sighted, and I think I have light. Not I think I was diagnosed with light sensitivity, and hence the photochronic glasses. So I started having. In fact, I've always knew I was short-sighted,
Mhm.
right? Because I noticed I could not see to a considerable distance. Once it's too far, I could see a form, but I wouldn't see exactly what or
Right.
who is there. And so we had to go to an eye clinic, and they said, okay, you have myopia, you're very short sighted, you need glasses, you would have to use glasses. Affected me in school, right? It was something that affected me in school a bit. So I got glasses, and for a while I was wearing the glasses. For a while I stopped, and later on I went back again to get like a better glasses, which is a glasses for short-sightedness and sensitivity to light together. So which is this.
So do your glasses help you see?
It brightens, yes, I would say yes, it brightens it. So I don't I how do I explain it? When I go out under the sun, it automatically just turns into a shade.
Mm-hmm.
It turns into it like a shade, but
Transition.
that does not mean, yeah, that does not mean my vision will darken. I still see exactly how I'm supposed to see, but it just shades off the sunlight, which
Mhm.
makes it really easier for me to walk around in the afternoon. Because when I was walking without the photochromic glasses, I noticed that I was squinting, especially when there is too much sun, or sometimes it's not even sunny. Sometimes the sky is just very bright,
Bright,
and so
yes.
you see me squinting, and I hated it. So most of the times I don't even want to go out during the afternoon times, because I'll be like, there is no point for me to going out and start squinting and start drawing really unnecessary attention to myself. You know what? When the sun goes down, that's when I'm going to step out. And so that was when I went to do my second checkup. That the doctor told me, since you're sensitive to light, why not just get photochromic glasses? Funny enough, the doctor who checked my eyesight, like who the optician who worked on my site, is a person with albinism too.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, she's a person with albinism too. I went to her specifically because I felt like she would understand when I'm describing what it is I'm going
Yes.
through. She would understand exactly what it is I'm going through. And she did really understand what it is I'm going through. So she told me that the truth is persons with albinism would always have the sight issues because that is what comes with the skin. But your glasses will enhance it a bit. It will not cure it, but it will enhance it and make it way easier for you. And so she prescribed these glasses for me, and so far it's been doing good for me.
Oh, they are very cute too. I don't wear glasses. My eye doctor told me that glasses was not necessary unless I'm driving or reading.
Okay.
But I wear shades all the time. So I have 30 pair of shades right now. I wear
Shades and sunscreen are persons with albinism best friend.
I was 15 years old when I found out that I'm supposed to wear sunscreen. I wear it now only when I'm going out and I'm going to be exposed to the sun for a long period of time. I wear it, but I don't wear it that often.
Okay, so I think for Africans, I'll use the term Africans, especially West Africa, where you have countries where almost all of their citizens are dark skinned. I think that's why albinism is easily noticed because you are a white person in a black country, and it's just weird, especially when both of your parents are dark. It is just it's something that cannot be like it cannot be missed. So I think that's why it's easily spotted here per se.
I mean, it's just as easily spotted here. And it's not as common here. And so I didn't grow up around any persons with albinism. I saw two in my life. I've seen more doing these interviews and talked to more doing these interviews that I have in person. And I think I ran into my first person with albinism. I think I was about 30. So,
Wow.
how old are you?
I'm 27.
You're 27? You look like you're a teenager.
I look like a teenager.
What do you do for a living? Like what is your profession or your job, or do you go to school?
I graduated with a computer science, a BSc in computer science, and so I would say I'm a content creator, but right now I'm working as a social media manager for some brands, whilst I am trying to build my own business. I would use that term.
What made you decide to get into content creation?
I see a lot of misrepresentation of persons with albinism. There was a time I opened a YouTube channel where I was talking about albinism and what it was and what it wasn't, and the myths and all that people mistake, think about albinism. And so I was posting videos about albinism on that YouTube channel for some time, but then I got an admission into the college I attended, and so I stopped. I took a break from content creating for a long time, for I think 3 years, 3 to 4 years, whilst I was in school, because school work and content creating. There are people who do it, but I just could not find myself doing it. It was very draining for me, and so I took a break. But I just knew that there was a lot of misrepresentation, the myths about persons with albinism. Oh, they are spiritistic creatures. Sometimes it's diabolical. Sometimes you see where they talk about, okay, one of the myths that really pisses me off then was you hear when you take the blood of a person with albinism, you would become immortal or you would be wealthy. And so I'm like, yo, that is it's very barbaric per se. It's very barbaric. And you see sometimes people will walk up to you and be like, oh, do you eat salt? In this side of the world, it's believed that if you eat salt, you would damage your skin. And you hear me try to explain albinism is genetic. It has nothing to do with what you eat.
Right.
It's in your gene. And you see people, they'll walk up to you and be like, if you eat nuts, granite like nuts, you damage your skin. You don't eat anything spicy. If you eat something spicy, there are different beliefs as regards to persons with albinism. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me just create videos about albinism. And so that was when, plus the fact that I like being behind the cameras. I just like talking to the cameras. What? I just like talking to the since I like talking to the cameras, I wanna talk to people about albinism, tell people about albinism. And so
Yes.
that was how I started content creating and all that. Still growing, but I will get there. We'll get there.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, when I saw your profile, I thought you were a model.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Whenever I come across the page where the person is picture happy like me, then I'm automatically like, oh, but your pictures are so nice
Thank
and
you.
so intentional that I thought you were a model because you're not camera shy at all. But how do you like content
So
creation?
I like it. For me, it feels like it's a way of helping. So the thing is, as in I would use the term Nigeria because that's what I can speak specifically about. In Nigeria, persons with albinism face a lot of discrimination sometimes. A lot to the point where it borders into bullying, verbal bullying. So when you see Nigerians, there are other African countries too, but I am using Nigeria because that's the country I know about and I can be very specific about. So when you see a lot of Africans, Nigerians who are persons with albinism behind the camera, those people worked at it. They worked at their self confidence, they worked at their self representation. I, for one, was not. There was a point in my life where I didn't like looking at the mirror. I didn't like what I saw at all. I did not like it. And but luckily enough for me, fortunately enough for me, I grew up in a family that is very loving. Very. I remember my dad always used to tell me, there is nothing wrong with you. Oh. It is just a skin different. The color of your skin is just different. If you should check the insides, your inner organs, they are the same as the dark skinned persons. You have to carry yourself. My dad used to tell me, however you treat yourself is how people are going to treat you.
Right.
However you see yourself is how people are going to see you. And I have like very supportive sister. One of my sisters is very big on how you dress. Carry yourself with confidence, carry yourself. She's big on courage. Do not dress like an idiot when you're going to see Amanda. She's going to she's going to chase you away. You have to dress properly. You have to look good. And so I would say that surrounding myself with people who are very supportive boosted my confidence a whole lot more. A whole lot. My eldest sister is a hairdresser. One of my sister is a makeup artist, and so because I'm the youngest, I am more of their muse. Be like, I saw this new hairstyle, I want to try it on. Right, just come and sit down, let me try out the new hairstyle. And they'll try it on my hair, and she'll try out the makeup on my face, and they'll take pictures, and I'm like, okay, sharp, pretty. What do I not look like? you know and so it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work. I won't even lie. It took a lot of work. I got to my breaking point, and I remember my siblings doing a whole family meeting just because I was having low self-esteem at the point in time. They had to call the whole family. The ones who were not around at the time had to join via video audio call. And they were like, what is wrong with you? Why are you? And that was when I told them, I feel this way, I feel this way, I feel this way. And I remember my brother telling me, you have to look at the mirror and see a person. You don't have to see just a person with albinism, but you have to see a person, and you have to like the person you see in the mirror. I had a lot of pep talks from my siblings, from my family, from my dad. My dad would tell me, value yourself. When you value yourself, people are going to value you, and all that. So it helped me become this very confident person, because I know, in as much as there are still, funny enough, even up until now, there are still a lot of stereotypes about persons with albinism. From in workplaces, in schools, you still see people who will verbally bully you. But I'm like, my family and the friends I have do not think about me this way. Why do I give a shit what you think about me? If the people around me are seeing me as this very gorgeous and pretty person, why should I feel bad when I
Right.
have these people supporting me and all that? So that was just it.
I absolutely love it. I love your page. I
Thank you.
love your content and your awareness about albinism, and you make it look fun. Like
Thank you.
you make it look very like if I was not a person with albinism, I'd like want to be one because you make it look so much fun. What was your childhood like?
Okay, so my childhood, it was basically, I would say, as at the time, I was the baby of the house. Before, because I am older than my brother, my younger brother, with 10 years. So for 10 years, I was the last child. For 10 years, I was the last child. I was basically the baby of the house. Nobody wants to see baby crying. Nobody wants to see you in a bad mood.
That's
Nobody
right.
wants to. I have my sister who would literally fight a teacher if that teacher should make me feel less of myself. Don't do that. Don't talk to my sister a certain kind of way. Do not, don't. And so it was really sweet. I really enjoyed it. Although I would say, as a growing up, I still had my inner demons, right? Because nobody takes that away from you. You have to take it out by yourself.
Right.
But it was really fun growing with big siblings, like elder siblings, and I would say it made me see things in a different perspective, because I was there when my other sisters who are persons with albinism too were making friends. It was as though they were like I followed their path per se, because the mistakes they made, I will not make it. And they'll be the ones who will tell you, this is what I did that didn't go well for me as a person with albinism. Don't do that.
Nice.
You know? And then for the dark skinned siblings, for my siblings who are dark skinned, they don't want to hear you. They don't want to hear you say that somebody bullied you outside.
Right.
They're going to pull up, and they're going to pull up real hard on that person particularly. They're going to pull up real hard. And so it was, for me, it was so much easier to handle my own problems knowing that I had people who backed me up so much, from my mom, my dad. And why right now, me reflecting on my parents and still loving how much they loved us, was now, when as I'm older, I realize that these people did not even understand what it is that you are. They don't understand it. They are dark skinned. My dad does not even knew. He didn't even know. Like, he knows now, but I was the one that told him. He didn't even know he had ocular albinism. So they don't understand what you are, because why am I giving birth to a white baby? But regardless of me having a white baby, nobody is going to make that baby feel less of herself.
Right.
And so their love screamed. It was loud in its own little way. It was very, very loud. I know what my dad, who specifically warned somebody on the street and be like, do not address my daughter as an albino. She has a name. And if you're not going to address her by her name, don't speak to her. You know? And it was growing up knowing you had people behind you, knowing you had people who would back you up. It's easier to deal with your own problems. At that point now, you realize, okay, there are people who are holding me up. At this time, you have to work on yourself. You, as an individual, have to choose to work on yourself. It's way easier. When I look at other persons, there are some other persons with albinism who did not have the family backing and the community that I had. And you see, I saw them excel. And I'm like, and they did not even have the community, but they were able to work on themselves. They were able to work on their self-confidence, their self-esteem. So why would you, that have this whole community who are rooting for you, who are struggling to build you up, who would call you and tell you every day, you're beautiful. Just last year, I still have, like, my siblings, one of my sisters who came to spend the holiday with us for the weekend, for the year rather, the end of the year. She was like, your self-confidence is top notch. I love it. Keep doing what you do. And it was very refreshing. Even in my very adult age, it feels very good hearing your elder siblings say these things to you. Like, you're doing so good as a person with albinism. You're building yourself. I love how you carry yourself like that, so that nobody is going to trample on you. Nobody's going to. So when you have this much confidence in your family members, when you go to school and you face the bullying that comes from, because the truth is there's bullying for persons with albinism in schools, secondary school, primary schools. there is bullying, sometimes from the teachers, because I know like two of my teachers who just did not like the fact that I was a person with albinism in their class. And so the bullying was there. They just didn't like it. But I knew if they should do something that was unjust to me, I knew I had my family backing. I knew I could go back to my mom and my dad and say, this is what happened in school. And they will call the school authorities real quick. Why is my daughter coming back with this so report? I do not like her being treated this way. And the school will talk with the teacher. They will address the teacher. And so I knew some of my teachers who hated the fact that who were angry at the fact that my dad will come. She will be like, you, if I punish you now, your dad will come to school. I'm like, yes, he'll come to school because you punished me wrongly. Right. And because he doesn't want his daughter to feel any less. So yes, if you don't treat me right, my daddy will come to school. So I had this self-confidence growing up. I had this self-confidence that I had my parents backing. I had my family's backing. It was for friends. Now, friends, I had to look for friends who are nice to me. But when it comes to family, I knew I was covered. And so it wasn't, in as much as I would not lighten how difficult it was for me growing up mentally, or not as regards to family love. But I would say that it was way easier knowing that my family would always be there. It was way easier.
What is your biggest pet peeve about being a person with albinism?
The sun. I just want to go out and have fun in the afternoon with my girls without worrying too much about the sun. I want to, when you're going out, right? You want to go out and you have this very, really cute outfit you want to wear. And then you just tell yourself, but there's sun, so I need to wear something covered. I'm like, oh, I don't like it.
I know.
I want to wear something really something that's a little bit of shoulder, a little bit of neckline here and there. But when it's in the afternoon,
you can't do
when
it.
It's in the afternoon, I have to be covered for health reasons, and I'm like, but that's just it anyway.
I understand that. I do understand that. What would you want the world to know about albinism and about persons with albinism?
Our skin tone does not determine what we cannot do. That's just what I wanted to know. My skin tone does not determine what, because I've had people who just automatically feel like the moment they see your skin, especially where the moment you just see your skin, I'm like, oh, they've already created a limit as to what you can do. And I'm like, who says I cannot exceed that limit that you have set for me? The times when I was writing a code, and I saw this guy walk up to me, and he was looking at my screen, and it got to a point I had to stop and like, yo, what's going on? Because I don't understand why you're looking at me. I don't understand why you're looking at my screen. And he said, you are a developer. And I said, no, that is not what I want to specialize in. But yes, right now I'm in school and I'm giving this assignment and I have to do it. So yes, you can call me a web developer right now. And he was like, you write codes? And I'm like, yes, I write codes. What's going on? And he's like, you are an albino. How do you see your screen? And I'm like, aha, that's the point. The moment you just see the skin tone, you already feel like there is something that you cannot do. Why do you think that a dark-skinned person can be a software developer and a person with albinism cannot be a software developer? So if there is anything I want the world to see, is that our skin tone does not limit what we can and what we cannot do. Rather, it is the individual themselves that has their limits. It is not because of their skin tone or their skin color.
And I absolutely love that, because I think that, like you said, once they see you, they automatically got a long list of stuff that you can't do. You haven't even talked to me. You don't even know my name, but you've already decided what I am and what I'm not capable of. I'm enjoying talking to and getting to know other persons with albinism, because even though I grew up with it, even though I was born with it, it's still awesome to hear a different perspective and to hear a different experience. And it's especially great to talk to someone that don't mind talking about it. I enjoy allowing the world to see a different perspective of albinism. I absolutely enjoyed talking to you. I think
Same here.
I love your personality. I
Thank
love
you.
your confidence, and your skin is flawless. And I'm so upset. Like, I
Thank
want you to
you.
tell me what your skincare regimen, because it's not as hot over here, and your skin is gorgeous. And
Thank
I
you.
want you to give me the tea on on what you do for your skin.
So there is a thing that sometimes persons with albinism feel like you have to do so much for your skin because you're a person with albinism, because you're different, you have to do too much. You albinism does not affect too much. I will not say it doesn't affect your skin. I'll say it doesn't affect your skin as much as persons think it affects your skin. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, look, I'm breaking out. Maybe it's because I'm a person with albinism. And I'm like, no, baby, it's because you have oily skin. You have to know your skin type. You know, and you see persons who will be like, oh, I'm having these red patches. It's because I'm a person with albinism. And I'm like, no, it's because you have dry skin. And a lot of times I'm like, as a girl, in fact, as a person with albinism, not just a girl, but specifically a girl, because we like glowing skin. Every girl wants to glow. But as a person with albinism, you have to know your skin type. And so I don't really do much. The only thing I do is I use rose water as just a face spray. It helps to reduce inflammation for me, especially when the weather is hot. I just use rose water spray on my face to reduce the inflammation. I use sunscreen, which is very non-negotiable in your skincare. Sunscreen. I use some serums, vitamin C, niacinamide, and then just regular oils, particularly palm kernel oil. I don't know if you know it, but that's just what it says. It's really rampant in Africa, palm kernel oil. And so at night, I'll just drop it on my face and apply it. Sometimes I don't even do much. I'll just spray rose water, apply the kernel oil on top, the palm kernel oil to lock in the moisture, and just go to bed. And the next day, if I want to go out, I would apply sunscreen, and so it doesn't take too much. It's just to eat right, drink a lot of water. That's what personally I do anyway. That's what I do personally. I take in a lot of water. I do not, as much as I can, I avoid sun exposure as much as I can. If it cannot be avoided, then I would make sure I have my umbrella with me, especially when it's the hot season. The very sunny periods, I'll make sure I have my umbrella with me. If I can avoid that outing, I would not even go at all until maybe later on in the evening.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I hope you have the most amazing day.
Thank you. I enjoyed this session, actually. I enjoyed the interview.
Thank you. Thank you. You're the second person that I've talked to from Nigeria, and y'all make me want to come to Nigeria.
Please come. We are going to host you right.
Okay. You have a good the rest of your day, because it's already afternoon there. We're just getting started, and y'all are getting
Okay.
ready to go into the evening. So say your name again.
Assosi.
Assosi.
Yes, that's
Okay.
it.
I love it. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
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 We've come to the end of another episode of Hi, my name is, and I'm a person with albinism. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for taking time to learn a little bit more about albinism and the people that live with it. Tune in next week so that we can explore the world of albinism through yet another beautiful PWA. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you won't miss next week's episode. See y'all next week. Love y'all.